This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden says the U.S. would get involved militarily if China invades Taiwan, a statement that goes beyond what previous presidents have employed. Tom Howe reports the president made the comment in response to a question during a press conference with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. The White House quickly clarified the U.S. was not changing its policy. The 1979 Taiwan Relations Act doesn't require the U.S. to intervene if China invades. Instead, it calls for America to provide assistance so Taiwan can defend itself. U.S. presidents typically have trodden a narrow line in promoting Taiwan's right to self-governance without provoking China. Biden is using his first presidential tour of Asia to give a tacit signal to China that it shouldn't interfere in Taiwan the way that Russia invaded Ukraine. Speaking of Ukraine, British intelligence officials estimate that the Russian military has lost about 15,000 troops in its war there. Then Wolfgang reports that's roughly the same number who died in the Soviet Union's ill-fated 9-year military campaign in Afghanistan. Additionally, Ukrainian officials claim that a dozen top Russian generals are among those killed. If that's true, it would have crippled Russia's command and control structure for the invasion, depriving the Russian army of key leaders in the conflict. The British say a combination of poor low-level tactics, limited air cover, and a lack of flexibility has led to the high casualty rate. An FBI agent testified in the Michael Sussman trial that Bureau leaders concealed that the probe was spurred by information provided by Hillary Clinton's campaign. Jeff Murdoch reports top Bureau officials sent an electronic communication marking the opening of the case and said the investigation was based on a referral from the Justice Department rather than a tip from Sussman. Former agent Allison Sands testified that she was misled about the origin of the tip related to Alpha Bank. Sussman is accused of lying to the FBI by saying he wasn't working on behalf of the Clinton campaign when he peddled the theory to the Bureau. A reminder that you can read these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. A reminder as well that you can find all of our podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Democratic and Republican attorneys general are targeting large tech companies in court, seeking to curb their power through the judicial system as an alternative to legislation that hasn't gained momentum in Congress. Ryan Lovelace reports D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine is suing Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg over claims of consumer protection violations. Racine says he has evidence to show that Zuckerberg was personally involved in the data leak that allowed political consulting firm Cambridge Analytica to target Facebook users in 2016. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has sought to investigate Twitter's censorship practices, and he fended off a challenge to his investigation from Twitter this year. A 3-judge panel of the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed Twitter's lawsuit against Paxton. Paxton has also defended Texas's new social media law in litigation before the Supreme Court. The law seeks to stop censorship by directing social media platforms with more than 50 million active users to not discriminate against Texans' viewpoints. And finally, Herschel Walker is headed for an easy victory in Georgia's Republican Senate primary, but then the hard work begins. Susan Friicchio reports the former University of Georgia running back holds an average 55-point lead over a field of 5 other candidates in the primary, according to Real Clear Politics. The race will grow much more competitive in the general election when Walker will face Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock, who won the seat in a January 2021 runoff. A Survey USA poll conducted in late April showed Warnock leading Walker by 5 percentage points, even though voters in the same poll picked incumbent Republican Governor Brian Kemp over presumptive Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams by 5 points. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.